Good evening, everybody. It's me, it's Chad, PolyNerdic, back with a Thursday night stream. But tonight we are not playing video games. No. We are painting. As you can tell behind me, over my shoulder. If you've never seen me before this moment, you know that I'm a D&D fan. With a glance at what's over my shoulder, what's all around me. This little fellow to my left here. We're going to paint today. We're going to paint some minis. I've got a couple pulled out that I really want to work on. We're not going to really start any new that I can think of, except for maybe this one over here, which I'll show in a moment. Last time we did one of these painting streams, I did it right here in front of me. And it was very crowded. It was very uncomfortable. The keyboard was up here, bridging the gap between my Xbox and one of my PCs. Hey, Steffi. Thanks for joining me. Like I said, on the Discord, we're going to start with this little fella right here. This dragon. We'll talk about him in a second. I use a variety of paints. I use Army Painter paints that came with a kit I got. I use Vallejo paints that WizKids branded. Or these are actually inks for the most part. I use Reaper paints, which is what we're going to be using on the dragon to start out. I have clear purple right here, 09099, because we're doing a purple dragon. I wanted to. This is supposed to be a Pathfinder red. It is. I bought it in a set that had this one and a white dragon. I turned the white dragon into a shadow dragon because white dragons in the Pathfinder build don't look like white dragons in the D&D build, which I prefer. Now, red dragons in Pathfinder look pretty damn similar to red dragons in D&D. But I already got a red dragon. You can see him back there over my shoulder. Right there. The kids got me one. That one is literally a metal dragon, so it's a metallic red dragon. And when they got me that for Father's Day, I decided immediately this could no longer be a red dragon. So I started looking at my dragons, looking up dragons in D&D lore. And I was hesitant initially to paint it purple because I have a Mind Flayer dragon model that I haven't assembled yet. And obviously that's going to be kind of a purpley color too. But I think there's going to be enough difference. Whew! Okay, settle down. There's enough difference between the two that I think will be okay. To be honest, having a deep dragon, a purple dragon, if you will, and the eventual Mind Flayer. But as I said, I'm not going to start on any new minis today. I don't believe. I'm going to work on this Beholder a little bit. I'm going to work on this base a little bit because this one mini I have that I don't want to reveal on stream has a really cool looking base that I need to work on. I've got this massive plant that I base coated that I need to work on. I did this one yesterday after work with my Iron Golem. I love the way he came out. So we're not going to work on him today. And then, like I said, I've got one over here that I want to unbox, and we'll work on it as well while this guy dries. Because a fella this big is going to take a minute. And I'm trying to determine where I want to start. Probably just going to start right here on his neck and just work my way down. So let me see how the camera looks when I switch to the painting camera. All right, we got a decent shot there. Disregard my my lap area here. That's not what we're here to showcase. That would be inappropriate. Get me banned on Twitch. I have my pickle jar of water that I always use. And as always, wear an old shirt when painting just in case, the paint gets everywhere. Up. There we go. Got a mod. I apologize if I missed chat, because normally my chat window is right here. But if I'm painting, I can't have the chat window right here. So the chat is going to be kind of behind me. So I apologize for that if I miss any comments. Well, let's get started. We've only got so many hours to paint, you know? Let's get a healthy amount of that in there. And I'm going to do something risky. I'm going to use this brush. This brush likes to fling paint for some reason. Suppose I should put it where you can see it. It's like, watch me not paint. Okay. Enough tomfoolery. I apologize for the light being so intense right here. I know you can see it a little bit on the face cam. But it's the only way I can see. Most of the time when I paint, I try to paint earlier in the day. This is a late bit of painting to paint on a 7 o'clock stream. But I'm not gonna have time to stream this weekend because it's my weekend with the kids, and I'm here by myself. So you know I got to do the grocery store and the cooking and the D&D with the kids. Because they love this as much as I do. Well, that's a lie. I don't think they love it as much as I do. Because I am way into it. But they certainly love it. Do you see what I'm doing? Get a nice purple coat on them. That black coming through underneath. Not as much as it would have if I had dry brush this, but I didn't want to dry brush because that really makes a mess. That really flings some paint around. I might go back and dry brush them in black or a different shade of purple, like a lighter purple. To make the darker purple pop out. See, look, I flung paint. Like I said, this brush, man, it loves to fling some paint. I haven't been able to figure out why. Go paint over here by your butt, buddy. How's that looking? I don't know how that's showing up on your screen. Looks fine on mine. I don't think this camera is nearly as good as that one, so you can really see a difference. Yeah, I like the way that purple's coming out. This is the first thing I've used this purple on. I got this purple specifically to do a purple dragon with. Get a little more water here. Make sure we use all that paint. All right. We'll put him on his side for a second. Now, this is one of the things I did want to get into here. I have seated here on my desk, I got some minis that I pre-ordered months ago when they were announced. So while that guy dries, let me switch back to the chat. I love tieflings. Always have. They're probably my favorite race. While we're on this camera, let me turn that off. So I got these tiefling sorcerers. The two women sorcerers. They got cool little magic effects on them. Gonna be real fun to paint. I also got some lizard folk, a barbarian and a cleric. I got the cleric specifically because I have a monster-based adventuring party that I created that the kids haven't met yet, and the cleric in the group is a lizard folk. So I did that I got that to bring them in. Now this is the one I'm gonna work on today along with this dragon. I love a beholder. Beholders and beholderkin are my favorite D&D monsters of all time. I actually like them more than dragons, I think. So I have a Death Tyrant. And we're just going to open him up right now. Because I want to work on him. He's going to be a real simple paint. Because it's a skull and some magic effects. And that's it, you know. And, and the base. You know, you want to put some paint down on the base. Make it look like a dungeon floor or something. But Death Tyrants are, if you don't know, they are essentially beholder liches for the most part. They are beholders that have, like, and I'll read about them out of the monster manual in a little while. But they're undead liches, or undead beholders. And it's literally just a skull. You can see straight through it. And instead of eye stalks, it has these floating orbs. Now, in the monster manual, they're red, but I was thinking about doing them in purple. Just to be a little different, and I think just purple magic effects look a little more sinister for whatever reason. I don't know why. It also could just because I prefer purple to red. But we're gonna work on this guy too in just a moment, as you know that dries. And then the last one I have pre-ordered. If you remember my discussion about dragons, you can see one of them. You see several of them back there behind me. You know, sapphire, red, gold, silver. There's another one that's a work in progress that doesn't have a head on it. There's the big blue one right there. There's a black one in the middle. I figured when I saw this, when I was doing this pre-ordering a couple months ago, back when I had money, they announced this one, and I'm like, I have to have it. I have to have it. You know, like I like the big adult-sized dragons, but they're expensive. You know, they're more than a video game. So this one is one I really look forward to painting and seeing how much I can get it close to the big one I have, because it is a small version of one of the big dragons I have. If you saw my tweet earlier today when I talked about D&D monsters other than dragons, which ones are my favorite, which, by the way, the list was Beholder and Beholderkin, Illithids, and Golems. I like constructs of all kinds. And then I gotta figure out how to open this without breaking it. Drop that box. Sometimes the blister packaging, they put these things in. Oh, don't bend the wing. There we go. I got him out. Bunch of noise. But look at this little blue dragon. Look at the blue dragon. I love blue dragons. They're blue, which is the best color. They breathe lightning. They're greedy like all dragons. They're evil. They're my favorite of the evil dragons. So I can't wait to paint that guy too. He's going to be fun. His wings are going to be a little tough. This bit here on the inside is going to be a pain. But he's going to be a lot of fun to paint. And then he could be the baby boy to the mama back there. Let's go back to the painting, though. There's old purple, still drying. So while it's drying, we're going to move it aside. And see, the beauty of these WizKids minis are they're pre-primed. You don't have to prime them like I do with my Etsy ones. Like the ones I get from Etsy, like this guy needs to be, this base needs to be primed. So we need skeleton. And wouldn't you know it, I pulled out skeleton the first time. Skeleton bone was the first paint I pulled up. So that's... Oh, we're running a little low on that. Gonna need to replace it soon. Okay, a little bit more water here. We get some nice washes that we can put on this too. That will really accentuate the bone and give it some texture, some shadowing. It's basically going to be all one color. Pretty simple paint job. I always want to try to not get paint on the clear plastic bits because I'm a bit of a fastidious goober like that, where I just don't want the paint on that bit. Which this one does have a fair bit of those plastic bits to avoid. In fact, at some point soon, I'm going to switch to a get a little more water here. I'm going to switch to a finer point brush. Can you see what I'm doing here? Yeah, you can. You got it. Paint that inner jaw. Whoop. Yoink. Normally I put them, as you saw earlier, on my medicine bottles. Use a little like tacky putty. Loctite, I think it's called. A little blue sticky stuff. And put them down on that to paint. All right. Finer point brush here. Let me get my foot out from under myself here so I can sit a little more comfortably. I apologize if you can't hear me when I'm painting as well. I'm trying to talk into the mic while painting, but like I said, this is a little different setup than I usually do. I'm thinking about rearranging this whole thing at some point, but not yet. Not there yet. We need to see how the next couple months go. Big life changes happening, you know? Looking for a new job. Looking to get back into streaming more regularly. I know 2021 has been a bad year for me stream-wise. It's been a bad year for me mental health-wise, which has affected everything. Relationships, friendships, my job, my productivity, creatively speaking, my productivity work-wise. It's just been a bad year, 2021. But we're looking at fixing that soon. I said something about it on Twitter today, that I'm going to get back into streaming more regularly, more than 2 days a week on the weeks that the kids are here. I got paint on the little plastic bit, like I said, I didn't want to. Most of the time you can scrape it off when it happens, but it's not so bad when it's right next to the model. It's really bad when it's like way far away from the body of the model. See, these are the kind of minis I like to do on stream, because the little ones just have too many details, and I can't hold them far away from me where you can see them and paint them effectively. And no one really wants to watch a stream where I'm doing this the whole time, and then the camera's not on anything, you know? So this is Thursday. If you're not, if you're watching this later on YouTube or on PolyNerdic.com, this is Thursday, the 5th of August. It's crazy that we're in August already. It blows my mind. Like, I feel like 2021 went way faster than 2020 did. Maybe because we got used to being home. Maybe because the news wasn't quite as stressful. Not that it isn't stressful, but it's not as bad as it was when we, well, you know. You were here. You knew how 2020 went. 2021 has been less stressful, that's for certain. in some ways. I can't say that with 100% honesty because I am the fool that was just in a mental health ward a couple weeks ago. So, you know, you don't fucking go to a mental health ward because everything's going peachy keen. But I mean, in general, broad generalities. I think January 6th was the last, like, really, really, really tense overall day. Not that 2021 hasn't had plenty of bullshit. Like, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the Gulf of Mexico was on fire. Already digging the way this guy's coming out. Look at it. It should be worth noting, if you haven't already figured it out, this camera's inverted. Because I am very much left-handed, and you're watching me paint with my right hand. The astute, watchful viewer would have already figured that out. I just love me a beholder, though. Like, they're just such a cool creature. Such an iconic D&D creature. Like, I don't think they exist outside of D&D. I do believe this creature was created in D&D. You know, dragons exist in all sorts of mythology and folklore. I've never heard of a 10-eye stalked floating ball of evil in anybody else's mythologies. I could be wrong. If you know and you're watching this, please tell me. Comment section, please. I just love them. I think they're a delightful enemy. They're so powerful. In just a second, I'll pull open the monster manual and read, in case you've never heard about a Death Tyrant before today. Because not everyone goes as full tilt into shit as I do. I just put on Facebook the other day about the dude that wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl, said that you know, you should be an enthusiast about things, and I feel that to the core of my soul. When I'm into something, I am into it. When I'm into someone, I'm into them. Like, I don't half-ass my passion. I am a man of passion. Gets me in trouble sometimes because I can be a little stubborn. I can be a little like, no, my way is the only way. Up, sit up, behave yourself. You need a little bit more bone paint. But I got the monster manual out because I wanted to. Death Tyrants are so interesting because prior to, I guess, 5th edition, they didn't really define how beholders reproduced. Like, there was some stuff in the earlier editions about them, like, developing this sack of material inside themselves and then essentially horking it up, and then from that a new beholder would be born. But I really like the modern take of the beholders. Hold on, I gotta mute my phone or turn the things down. They dream each other into existence. Like, they reproduce via dreams, and that's a fascinating way of reproduction, because that's how you get stuff like the Death's Kiss, which is like the vampiric beholder. Or you get shit like, it's not the dream thing, but like if a mind flayer gets a hold of a beholder and they create a mind witness, which I have over there on my shelf. I didn't paint that one. I got that one in a booster box situation. See, I appreciate when they give you avenues to get the paint into places. Like, I can go through his mouth and get this hole that's inside his head. I Again, once again, bring it out here where you can see it. Just trying to make sure I get all of the bits that are white, because I do see some white shining through. That's the worst thing in the world when it comes to these is when you think you've got it done, and you go to blast it with a clear coat, and then you look and you're like, oh, or after, even worse is after you've clear coated it, and you see stuff that you missed. More water here. Hate that feeling so much. I mean, there are worse feelings in the world. There are worse feelings in the world when it comes to model painting. Like one of my worst ones was I've got a Lord of Blades over here that I've been working on. I might actually touch him up a little bit today too. That before I even got a chance to paint him, he got knocked over because he was on like an idiot. I put him in a very precarious spot, him and several other minis, and I bumped them, and they fell, and I think I broke broke beyond repair $50 worth of miniatures, and then there were some old Lord of Blades over there who just has battle damage now, and it drives me nuts to look at him, but there's nothing I can do about it. Because it was well outside of the purchase, you know, the time where I could return it and get a new one or whatever. It was entirely my fault because I'm a klutz. I just stood up, slammed my chair into it, and over it went, and a bunch of little plastic pieces all over my living room floor. All because I stood up to stretch. And I did it too fast. I wish I had a book about purple dragons. I'd read about purple dragons, deep dragons. I suppose I can, since I have the internet right in front of me, I could look that up too. Get all of the areas between his teeth, because I don't want to go to look at it later and see white. Like, that's not bone, it should be bone. I think a nice brown wash on this will do. Bring out the cracks and crevices of the bone, maybe. The ridges. The teeth and whatnot, give the teeth a nice decayed look. But yeah, I know they're technically not beholder liches, but they're close. I don't even know if beholders can become liches. I know I've seen a stat block for a thing called an elder beholder or an elder orb. I don't know if it was third party, like Kobold Press kind of stuff, or what. I'm regretting not putting it on the old pill bottles. Dragon's almost dry, so we can work on other parts of it. Yeah, that purple came in real dark on top of the black. Got a little bit of white down in there I need to get. The orb bits are going to be fun because we're going to use inks. While I still have the bone out, there's some skulls on the Lord of Bones that I want to do. This is my Lord of Bones. I've got them just painted in flat Um, I think this is the adamantine black. But he's got some skulls under his feet down here that I need to paint. And since I've got this abundance of bone paint out here, Lord of Blades is a bad dude. Big old evil Warforged. Warforged is another race I love. I know they're technically an Eberron race, but that's one of my favorite things about D&D is it's your world, man. Everything's fucking canon. Everything's canon in your world. I seen an interview with who was it? Was it Chris Perkins that said it? Yeah, it was Chris Perkins that said it, but it was another guy talking about it. He was talking about how there is no one D&D canon because every single one of our tables is canon. Like we're running Curse of Strahd right now. If in my world Strahd's dead and Barovia is no longer a domain of dread, that's canon. If Strahd's dead and the Abbot takes over as the Dark Lord, that's canon. In my world, Warforged come out of Lantern. Those worshippers of Gond out there figured out how to make sentient robot people. While they were away during the Sundering. That's my official Forgotten Realms lore in my world. That's how I choose for it to be. Oh, there's a bone right here too. I don't even know if I wasn't even holding it where you could see it. I'm sorry. A little bone right here we gotta paint. Other one right there. Get paint in my hair if I'm not careful. I think we got all the skulls. Nope, there's one. As soon as I said it, I looked at one. I was like, oh, there's a skull right there. So I've been thinking, because I've been watching Nextlander, the guys out of that formerly worked for Giant Bomb, Vinny, Alex, and Brad. They've been playing State of Decay 2, and I played a lot of that game when it first came out, and then fell off of it due to other things coming out. But since I'm in this backlog phase of my life where I just can't afford to buy new games, I think we might start playing State of Decay on stream again. Especially if I start streaming as much as I did in 2020, or close to that amount. Because, in 2020 I used to stream like 5 days a week, except for the weeks that I had the kids. Then it was only 3 or 4. I put out a lot of content in 2020. When I was on the Bite Me podcast 200 episode, that's how Cliff, the host, introduced me. Because I don't know how this man puts out the amount of content he does, but he does. And then immediately after that, I just stopped making content on that level. Okay, now I think I got all the skulls, and it's all just scrap metal now. We still got some bone left, so I'm gonna... I don't know if I have anything else that is bone colored over here. I do not, unfortunately. chair just made an unpleasant creaking noise. Excuse me, big guy. But you, what are you? Nope, you don't have bone color, neither do you. Neither do you, neither do you. Okay, we're just gonna use up some of this remaining bone, get some more coverage on homeboy here. Get him painted up. All nice and pretty. So I make sure when I am ready to slap that ink on him, he's ready. The light does help. Helps me find these little spots that I missed. Oh, there's one. See it? I don't know if you see it, but right there next to the eye stop. Or the floaty orb bit. There's some right there. See, this is why we wanted to come over and do more. Oh, look at that. See all that right there I didn't do? This is why we check. A little bit right there didn't get got. Alright. I say it's time to get back to Mr. Dragon over here. Okay, I know if you can hear that as well as I hear it, you can definitely hear me talking. Although I'm not hitting the register, the banging glass is. Alright, Death Tyrant. Excuse me, sir. Bring the dragon back. Let's get this purple going again. I really like the Reaper paints. I like the Vallejo paints that I've messed with. I haven't got to mess with Citadel paints yet. What else? Oh, and the Army Painter paints. I like the Army. The only thing I don't like about some of the Army Painter paints is they clog up real well. I bought a set of metallics. Look like this, and like I think there was 10 of them in there, and I had to throw 3 of them away because they were just like the pigment and the liquid had completely separated, and it was just this solid plug of pigment and the like alcohol-y stinky water. It was very disappointing. All right, move you. In the water here. A little too watery. So we're definitely going to have to recoat that. After it dries. I'm half tempted to just give it a with the exception of the spikes here, because I'm not sure if I want the spikes to be black or not. So I'm going to leave them black for a little bit. And I think I'm just going to, you know what, I am going to just paint the entire wing purple and then go back and get the membrane bits with like a lighter purple. A little bit of skull in there still. Tell by the color. A little bit of that skeleton paint got in there. Like I said, darker purple on the I don't almost want to call them struts. the fingery bits of the wing, and then we'll come back and paint the. Like, look at the difference between how it is when it's wet and when it's dry. Like, it's a very dark purple. And that could be partly my fault for painting it in black underneath it. Like, maybe if I had base coated it in white, it wouldn't be so dark as it dries. But I think ultimately it's going to work. And these acrylic paints, they're great because you can just repaint if it doesn't show up in a way you like. The only thing I don't like about painting these dragons is they do use a lot of paint. Use a lot of paint painting a dragon. Oh man. So the funny thing is, I was thinking about the actual beholder. I was thinking about using metallic purple on it, on top, like dry brush it on top of the dark metallic that I put on it to give the scaly effect. Oh, it's out of focus. Hold on. Excuse me, purple wing. Boop. Like, it's got this nice dark metallic color to it. I was thinking about putting like a metallic purple on it, like as a dry brush. The only thing is these little narrow areas. I'm a little wary of dry brushing those because I'm not the most dexterous. Now, I have gotten better from painting. Painting has made me way better, but we'll see. A lot of purple being used tonight. But I'm okay with that. Purple's one of my favorite colors. You know why? Because blue's in it. Blue is a fundamental part of purple. Can't have purple without blue. Blue, because I'm oh so special, blue is my favorite color. As if it's not a very common favorite color. Curious. I want to see how this dries. Because I'm wondering if this is called... Because I've never used clear purple before. I really like the color of it. But I wonder if it dries in like almost like a pigment instead of a paint. Or maybe I just didn't put enough on, watered it down too much the first pass. Because I really want it to be a purple ass dragon. Not an ass dragon. I don't know what an ass dragon is. Sounds terrible. Ass dragon. I have plenty of purple paint. If this does continue to dry in a way that it makes it look black with just a tint of purple, I can switch to another purple and start over. We'll see, though. Okay. Might need to go get a new paper towel to be able to wipe my brushes on. Now for Death Tyrant dude here. Real quick, let me read to you what a Death Tyrant is. From the Monster Manual. Again, Beholders are badass. Death Tyrants. They have an armor class of 19, which is actually higher than the regular Beholder. They average out to 187 hit points. Extremely charismatic, extremely intelligent. Challenge level 14. Got so many things, legendary actions, all that stuff. See, on rare occasions, a beholder's sleeping mind drifts to places beyond its normal madness, imagining a reality in which it exists beyond death. When such dreams take hold, a beholder can transform, its flesh sloughing away to leave a death tyrant behind. This monster possesses the cunning and much of the magic it had in life, but it is fueled by the power of undeath. A death tyrant appears as a massive naked skull with a pinpoint of red light gleaming in its hollow eye socket. With its eye stalks rotted away, 10 spectral eyes hover above the creature and glare in all directions. They create undead, too. They like to make zombie armies. I know it says red. I say... What the hell? No. See, yeah, the only thing I have is my red ink is a little too orange for me. I haven't used it yet. I don't know... I'm afraid to use it and not like it. You know what I mean? And then put purple. But I do like purple. So, you know what? We're using purple. My house, my rules. Put it right here next to this. Shouldn't need too much. I might have actually just dropped too much because it's ink. But you can see... just the tiniest bit is needed. Don't want to use too much. Well, almost put the paint in it. That would be bad. There we go. Just kind of let it sit and dry while we paint the other ones. Because I don't care what they say about it being red. I like purple better. Like... I kind of feel that way about a lot of D&D stuff. Because, you know, like, I'm not a min-maxer. I don't want to make the most efficient character ever. I want to make the most fun character. I looked at that camera. The most fun character is what I'm after. I love these inks. They were money well spent. I'm just afraid to turn the head too far and get the ink to roll. that, so I quit accidentally almost getting the paint. Not that the paint would look bad, but the paint wouldn't, it would make it opaque, and you wouldn't be able to see through it. Which is the whole point of using the inks. Is that you want it to look like a magic effect that, light can pass through and whatever. It looks really cool. In my opinion. This is the whole reason I bought the inks when I did. Just because I wanted to be able to do these little magic effects that are on so many of the minis. And have them look awesome and not just... Because I ruined a gelatinous cube trying to paint it. Like I tried to thin the paint down real hard and make it see through, and it didn't work. I just ended up with this murky, cloudy gelatinous cube figure, and like it ruined the importance of that figure was that you could put other figures inside of it and see through the wall of the cube. But no matter how much water I put in the paint, I could not get it thin enough to make it work, and it just ended up being this shit show of a painting of a miniature. And these damn acrylic paints, they don't reactivate with water. Like, you don't add water to them and they don't get wet again. Like, they're just solid that way, which is great. I mean, it's why they're so fun to use for the models. Oh, missed one. Like I said, I think I have too much. I think I poured way more than I need for this little job. Give it a second. Be right back. I am going to get the roll of paper towels because I'm about to do some dry brushing, and that's going to need paper towel to wipe off on it. Whoa. Oh no, I'm out of focus. There we go, back in focus. Yeah, we are going to do some dry brushing soon, and that is going to be needed. Painting it back here where you can't see what I'm doing again. Force a habit. Excuse me. Carbonated water got me right away that time. Yep. See, we don't want ink on the eye stop. The invisible eye stop. Yeah, see, I think that looks sharp with it being purple. Because I swear, the ink I have, it says red, but it looks way more orange to me. We'll use a little bit of it on the on Mr. Man here, the Lord of Blades. Because he's got some like glowy red bits in his gut that I want to bring out. I can't believe this one's almost done. I mean, I can believe because it's a very simple model. Yeah, this is coming out better than I thought it was. Yeah, see, the purple's coming out now. I think it's because I watered this down too much the first time. I need... That's Dragon Black. That's Tarnished Brass. Although, some of the stuff at his feet, Tarnished Brass probably look good on. Tarnished Brass. Adamantium, Shadowed Steel, Blade Steel. I think Shadowed Steel is what he's going to need to be dry brushed. I want to just give him some... If you don't understand what dry brushing does is it puts a layer of paint on all the upraised bits of the mini. So that way, like, the stuff that you base coated and like in the case of Lord of Blades there, I gave him that dark black adamantine metal, and now he's going to be, this will bring out the upraised bits more, and it just looks real sharp, I think. Doing some social media stuff real quick. Back to the stream. Okay. I'm gonna go crazy with it. We're just gonna a little bit, because you will burn through a lot of it. Man, I like that a lot. I'm gonna do some dark gray base, and then give it a wash, and we'll be good. Forgot for just a second what I was looking over here for. I'm gonna move you over here, mister, just in case the brush gets a little flippy. Now we gotta dry the brush again. It was a little sticky. I didn't like it. Yeah, I see some stuff that I would like to paint on his base in the tarnished brass colors. That way it's not all shadow steel. That tickles. Rub the brush head on your palm of your hand. Like, watch. This is magic. Get most of it off the brush, and you just light touch. And my dry brush technique isn't great. There's other people that are way better at it. See, there's the broken bit. Like I said, battle damage. Man, these metallic paints have a scent. And you really can't, like, appreciate what the dry brushing is doing until you get it to dry and then look at it again. Because, like, the Iron Golem I showed you at the start of the stream, at one point it was like a fully, like, reddish brown, rusty colored metal. And then the combination of the dry brush and the rusty brown created this really good iron color that I like a lot. Did I get paint in his eye? I did get paint in his eye. I'm about to repaint his eyes. I failed at the dry brush there. Because the dry brush is not supposed to get down in the grooves. I dry brushed incorrectly. There, he's getting a sharper look to him now, I think. Whew! That paint has a smell. Like, it has a strong scent. Ah! Alright, I've got a young blue dragon paper towel holder over here. The roll fell right between its wings. Yeah, I like that a lot. Happy I pre-ordered this guy. Now to terrorize my children with him. We need a nice dark gray for the ground. Gray primer, that's the wrong color gray. Underdark gray is the wrong color gray. Lich skin. I'm out of dungeon stone. I need to get more dungeon stone. Or something close. We'll use lich skin. And then maybe a dark wash on top of it. A little black ink will fix it. I'm not going to use a lot here. So we are just painting the bottom. Also known as the base. The pedestal. What I love about this hobby, though, is if you really fuck some shit up with the paint anyway, you can just paint it again. Now, if you fuck shit up by, like, shattering the miniature, depending on how bad you shatter it, you may not be able to fix it. I speak from experience on that. I have been able to fix some minis that have been broken. Excuse me. Others not so much. Ah. Shoot. Ah. There we go. I'll hold it that way. Such a klutz. Somehow I managed to get metallic paint in the well that had the purple ink in it. I got two little specks of purple ink or metallic steel. I will say one thing I'm absolutely terrible about on like regular size minis is eyeballs. I cannot do eyes to save my life. I'm at a point where most of the time I don't even try. Like, I'll do solid color eyes on dragons and stuff, and then maybe try to put the little eye slit in it. But on people, no way I am even trying that. Ah, don't fall over. Behave yourself, sir. You don't even have, like, digestive organs, so don't tell me you were drinking. It's not possible. There we go. Put you over there. While I'm doing it, let's go ahead and paint these rocks. I'm going to paint the hands the same color, because the hands I'm going to do something with later to, you know, make them pop a little different than the rock does here. But because I'm out of Dungeon Stone Gray, I need to use this. This is as close to stone as I get, and it's the freaking lich skin. Not my favorite go-to for gray stone stuff, but you can wash it with black ink and it gets better. Just a little bit more. What'd I do with it? That's skeleton. I put it back. I must have put it back. Yes, I did. That's another one I would love to paint on stream, is my big, bad, ultimate evil lich. That's the evil bad guy of the campaign I'm running. But if I do that, the kids will see him before the reveal, and I don't want to do that. I mean, they potentially could. I don't guarantee that they'd watch what I do here. They watch some of the stuff, Dominic especially. But I don't know if he's going to watch, you know, like, I bet if I started painting something and then went to it, he'd lose it. But no, my luck, that'd be the episode he'd watch the whole 2 hours or so of. More water here. Get a little more coverage that way. Thin the paint down. This is such a cool base. Like, this is literally the bottom. You glue the figure to the top of it. I mean, you understand what the concept of a base is. I don't know why I felt the need to explain it. Just fill in the silence, I guess. Stream's real entertaining if I don't talk constantly, right? People complain. You don't talk enough while you're streaming. You look so bored. Not that I've ever heard that. Although I have heard that there for a while was a distinct difference between me on the weekends and me on a weekday. Like, you could just tell that my job wore me out. Like, oh, you're usually so much more high energy than this. And I'm like, I don't ever feel high energy. I'm like one of the chillest, low energy sons of bitches in the world, man. Can you even see what I'm doing? No, I'm like real close to myself. I just thought about that again. My bad. I apologize. This is only like the second or third time I've ever streamed painting, so it's easy for me to forget there's another camera here, and I just get lost in the rhythm of the painting. I'm like, doo 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 doo. Got paint on my hands. Elspeth Eastman got me thinking the other day. She's got a pretty good story about holding tension in her throat and how it changed her voice, and she's going through therapy, voice therapy, and all that stuff. And it's ever since I watched her talk about it, it was her return stream post-surgery. I've been thinking about my voice and like, is this noise that I make with my face how I'm supposed to sound, or is it tension in my throat? Because like her story is about being a nervous person and feeling like you need to project and stuff, and like I often wonder how much, especially since then, how much my voice could be different. Like I've tried to change my vocal pattern for the sake of streaming. I try to enunciate more than I used to. I used to be real mush-mouthy, real timid, just. But I figure, I've got a good stockpile of miniatures built up, from the before times when I had money. And I figure we could, not every time I paint, but, every now and again, sit down and paint together. Because what inspired me to do this was on Classy Katie, my favorite streamer. She did an art stream yesterday. She was on the main page, and she did an art stream, and they did 3D sculpting. She just kind of talked and hosted or whatnot, and the other dude stretched, almost like digital clay. Started with a big gray ball, and he pulled it out into a creature. It was great. They didn't get to finish it, but they were close. This thing I'm going to paint now is like a big man-eating plant. If you have the Van Richten's guide, there is such a plant in that. This is not the Van Richten's version of it, but it is a mini I bought on Etsy. That will suffice as the plant. Tree ant green, I think that's probably a good color for it. Yeah, let's do tree ant green. I'm just gonna base coat it in green, or I base coated it in white. I'm gonna paint it in green, and then I'll go back and pull up the details. I guess in hindsight, I could have base coated it in green and just primed it in green and got it over with, but I didn't think that far ahead. I need to stir this paint. This paint didn't get stirred up very well. See, that's a pretty plant green. Nice leafy green for a plant that's going to eat your face. Well, hell, it'll eat more than your face. It'll eat your whole body. Just right in there. Just go right in there. Etsy is definitely like my favorite place in the whole world to get minis from. Although they can be pricey. Over the last year, I've done a lot of PayPal Pay in 4 plans. $10 a month is better than 40 all at once. Or no, sorry, $10 a month. $10 every 2 weeks is better than $40 right up front. I'd get like 4 or 5 of them in a go. Look for sales. You know, different printers running sales. And get these minis that you just can't get anywhere else without a printer. And I don't have the space here for a 3D printer. If I could afford one and had the space, you bet your ass I'd have a 3D printer. It'd save me a fortune on Hero Forge minis because I could like just buy the file for like $5. I love Hero Forge minis. My main dude, Kasich, my tiefling, is a Hero Forge mini. Same with Chelsea and the kids' characters. Got them, well, except for the boy. The boy's character, I made a Hero Forge mini and then it broke like immediately. And I got it replaced and then I broke it, taking it out of the box. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get him just a standard miniature, painted up. It'll be nice. He'll like it, whatever. And guess what? I was right. He did. There we go. Nice fresh coat of green paint on this evil man-eating plant. Time to give, and we'll give it a little more time so the base can dry the rest of the way. I want to make sure that base gets completely dry. Take a look at our dude here. Yeah, dry brush helped him out quite a bit. I almost want to do a light silver on him, make it pop just a little bit more. Purple Dragon guy, it's your turn. We're back. Back to you, purple dude. Yeah, it's a good, rich, dark purple he's got going on there. He's a deep dragon. Let me pull up deep dragon. Over here on the internet. Deep dragon. Deep dragons, also called purple dragons, were a type of chromatic dragon that lived in the Underdark. They are typically evil in alignment because they're chromatic. They live in the Underdark. Okay, that fits because they said that their scales are almost amethyst in color, but in the dark they appear nearly black. Adult deep dragon. Looking for stat block. Here we go. Armor class of 18. 157 average hit points. Challenge level 14. 21 strength. 19 con. 18 int. 17 wisdom. They have a psychotropic breath. Excuse me. So you take psychic damage and get poisoned. Frightful presence. Yeah. This guy's gonna make a nice. I mean, he looks a little different than the official adult deep dragon, purple dragon art, but. And see, this purple dragon looks almost pink. Must be an older, yeah, it's older art. Excuse me. Okay, back to what I'm supposed to be doing. Painting this guy purple. Because he deserves to be purple. It has been decreed. Spin this around, get some more paint. You get paint all over your hands when you paint minis. I don't know if you're aware of that. It is a messy hobby. is not the one you do if you want to be clean. I had to stop and think about what I was doing for a second. Alright. Where is my brush? What did I do with the brush I was using? I'm good at this. There it is. Hiding under the plate. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't dry brush it in hindsight, because I think this dry is so dark that if I dry brushed it, you may not even be able to see the purple, which would have been a heartbreaking thing. Can you even see what I'm doing now? You probably can't, because I'm working down here in the butt. Working down here in the hindquarters, as they call them. The dragon shoulder. Assuming dragons like pig. You know, where the pork butt is the shoulder and the pork shoulder is the butt. But we all know bacon's the ass. I really want this to pop a little more than it is. I might honestly use a different color purple for the pieces, because it just feels like it's drying so dark that you can't even see it. Like this purple might end up being the purple we use for the Mind Flayer. Splash paint all over me. This is why we wear old shirts. Like I said, I will reevaluate after he dries. Over here, away from everything. You hang out with the Xbox, Dragon. I gotta ponder you. No, we don't want to flash wash. Let me try brown first. See how browned up. No. Maybe. Let me look at a Death Tyrant. Pull up a Death Tyrant picture. Death Tyrant. Yeah, it does look a little more brown. Brown wash it is. I like how this was going to be a Purple Dragon painting stream and ended up being a Death Tyrant painting stream, primarily, it feels like. Okay. Get one of my slightly thicker brushes. This one. Yeah, I think brown might be the right choice. As it dries, it's going to give a nice effect. Make it look really like dirty bone, which is what you would want here. I don't want to use too much, but I do want it to have the right look as well. Very careful with the wash on the inside of the eyelid, because you don't want the wash to get down into the orb, which is supposed to be clear. There we go. I think that worked out nicely. Yeah, look at that. That's a face you could love right there, isn't it? How's the expression go? Only a mother could love that face. Look at it. Look at it. I should probably put the stream back up on screen so I can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, look at that. The way it... Yeah. Perfection. Till I mess it up. See, and I appreciate the way this is designed because it makes me take my time with the wash. I do have a tendency, I will admit, to go a little hog wild when I'm washing a thing and just... Whereas this is making me take my time and spread it without getting it on the struts. Be a little more mindful. A little more over here, I think. Go ahead and get the top of the mouth too while we're at it. Because why not? Might actually, yeah, we do need to get a little bit more. Ow. Punch the lamp. I know you saw that because it was right there on screen. But yeah, we're putting a brown wash on this Death Tyrant. Give him that nice, dirty, dingy bone look. It'll look great when the wash dries. I'm going to use a little black wash and a little bit on the stone to give it a darker look too, so that way it doesn't have the lich skin color that I had to use for stone because I am out of my stone paint. As I was saying. Really get in there and get the roof of the mouth details. Get that eye socket. Get that over there, a little bit there. Part of me wants to be like, you can never use too much. And then others are like, yeah, you can absolutely use too much. And absolutely overwash a thing. But I like the way he's coming out. Man, yeah, that looks good. I know they're supposed to have red eyes, but I like purple better. Oh, we got a little bit there we missed. Gotta get that bit. Make that look good and dingy. See, this is why we turn it around and around, because like I said, I'll get it completely ready and then I'll go to clear coat it and I'll be like, oh man, I missed the whole thing here. Why isn't this done? Why didn't I see that earlier? One of these days I'll do an actual painting stream. Because I started painting, I did some art therapy while I was in the hospital. And made this really terrible painting of a sunset. But I'd like to try again. You know, Bob Ross, we were watching a Bob Ross video, and he just paints so fast. It's hard to stay with him. He's just so quick. Okay, where's my... Lost my Twitch thing for a second. I'm just going to add black to the brown. Because why not? Let that wash seep into those cracks there. Painting it way over here away from you again. You being the camera. But you know that. You know who you are. Yeah, I really dig the way that sumbitch looks. We're gonna have Death Tyrants in all the campaigns. Just Death Tyrants for days. Be ready, kids. No, I'm kidding. Do want to... I'm going to test something. So I have this lovely royal purple paint. I love the way these real nice metallic paints come out. See how this is all shiny and stuff. Actually, yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna do the purple on the scales, but I'm gonna let the eye stalks and the little spiky bits be the dark blackish metallic color. See how that looks when it dries. Because that's the most telling thing, is you gotta wait till it dries, and you're like, oh, okay, that came out nice. Although I just totally butchered his eyeball. Good thing I gotta paint that later. We're gonna repaint that spike. I'm kind of sloppy sometimes when I get going. I'm just like, we're an hour and 39 minutes in. We're not doing terrible. We've painted a lot of things. At least in part. I am totally going to repaint that dragon, though. Use a different purple. Purple has been the theme tonight, though, hasn't it? I've got the cutest little friendly beholder coming. It's the last of the minis I have on order. They're in transit now, as a matter of fact. They're going to be a lot of fun. Or that one's going to be a lot of fun. All the beholders in that set will be fun. But the friendly one, I just look forward to painting. Because it's got like regular human teeth and it's smiling. You're over here. I looked at that camera. Yeah, this is a really fucking good color. Now, see, in this one, I have one of the first minis I ever painted was a beholder. In fact, let me finish applying this purple and I'll show you. Because as I said, when I started painting, I didn't know if I was going to like it. Because this, honestly, like from a descriptive standpoint, is a lot for me. Like I've never painted, I've never picked up a paintbrush in my life. I was never really big with models growing up because I never had the patience to assemble them. So I was never the kid that, put the cars together and painted them. And I still admittedly get a little frustrated when I get a miniature and it's one that needs to be assembled. I deal with it because the end product is so cool. But it is frustrating. Like I have a dragon over there that I had to putty the wings together and then super glue them. Use a combination of putty and super glue to get the wings together because the way it was molded didn't work right. Yeah, I really dig this metallic purple. Royal purple is what it's called. But I figure, one of the reasons also why I did this tonight was that, like, I have my backlog to play through. But I have all these minis to paint, and since I'm in a time and I'm in a storm in my life where I don't have the money to buy all the games, to buy all the miniatures. I figured I will use what I have to get on camera and just get better at being a presence, Not that I've ever relied on like brand new games to get me going. Although realistically, Animal Crossing was like a boon for me. My channel blew up streaming Animal Crossing. Unfortunately, that's not the only thing I stream. So I have a lot of times where people come to watch me stream Animal Crossing and then dip out immediately as soon as I switch games. It's like, oh, you were here for that, not for me. Gotcha. One day I hope to stream D&D. I hope to stream it as a player, not the DM. Because that's a lot of fucking pressure. DMing's rough as it is, without adding the pressure of entertaining an audience. You gotta entertain your players and your audience, and run a good game. More power to Matt Mercer and Quiddy, Abria Iyengar, Todd Kenrick, B. Dave Walters, all the DMs that I love watching. Like, more power to all of you, because that's rough. Okay, so I have so many purples. Sparkling amethyst. Let me try that. Let me drop a little sparkling amethyst on it. Just a little. Do just a little bit of it. I want to see what that looks like on the dragon. Because maybe it'll dry brighter. Because you can see that it's purple, but just barely. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna. Let's just see how it dries. Because it's almost giving it like a coppery color against the black and the other purple. But maybe it dries more purple than that. Nothing else, it'd be a good color for the spikes and stuff. Okay. So ironically, the two colors I bought thinking they would be the perfect colors are not the right colors. Eldritch purple, but I don't have enough to. I don't know if I have enough to paint the whole dragon in it. Gem purple. Styx purple. A sample that's also kind of purple. Another sample that's kind of purple. Drow silver, which is purple. Runic purple. Dragon black. Pure black. Dark elf skin, which is a grayish color. To make it a pink dragon, pixie dust. Gem purple. See how that does. Just curious as to how that amethyst is gonna dry. Cause see, it's got a weird color to it. It might be the perfect spike color. I put way too much in for something that I was just trying. So, we're going to do the other wing in this and see how it dries. Because see, it's a much lighter purple. But against the black, maybe it won't be so... I mean, honestly, that's closer to what I imagine a purple dragon being colored. Because, you know, the paint's always dry just a little darker. That, if... I'm going to prime the Mind Stealer dragon. The Mind Flayer dragon. I'm going to prime it in a lighter color and see how the clear purple goes on it. Because I have a suspicion that it being clear purple is why it dries so dark on the black. But I could be wrong. I need to test that theory with another mini. I also need to assemble that mini. because he has not been put together yet. I've been waiting. Why did I paint that one? I should have painted this one. Wasn't thinking clearly. Clearly, I wasn't thinking clearly. See, normally when I paint, I listen to music. But, you know, that's motherfucking DMCA strikes. Oh no, how's that look? That's purple. you can barely even tell that that's purple. I just put my hand in the purple on the leg. This poor dragon has all the different kinds of purples on him. Trying to figure out what's the right one. So this was Jim purple. I'm going to say it again so I can reference it later. This is Jim purple. This purple is Jim purple. Need to see how it dries on this guy. I'll put him upside down. Is that putting... Yep, just a little tiny bit of paint. Okay. Ah. Should have used more of that green than I did, but I poured too much. It's my fault. Can't blame the paint. Gotta blame the fool that poured too much paint, right? Now I want to see what this red ink looks like when I apply it to my dude here. Ah! Try to just a little drop. Spurt it out. See, the thing here is he's got this little bit right here that needs to be red. It's really like the whole red on him is right there. Maybe a little bit right there where the wiring is. I don't know. I don't know his life. I can fix that later if that's wrong. But it just looks so orange. Even there against him, it's kind of got an orangey tint to it. I don't think I like it. You are orange ink, sir. You are not red ink. You are a dirty liar. Yeah, see, look how orange that is. That is orange. Vallejo. You learned your colors. Telling the paint people they need to learn how to identify their colors better. Oh no, I knocked over the Death Tyrant. Look at that. That came together nicely. Still letting the base dry though. Because you gotta let that dry for a while before you can clear coat it. What's the temperature out? It's 80 degrees. Alright. Because I gotta turn the air off, open the window, point the fan out, and clear coat it so that way it blows out the window. What else do I have to do over here? over here. Okay. Okay. A lot of stuff has got a lot of fine detail work in it that I need to worry about. Almost shook it with the cap off. That would have been tragic. Looked at the wrong camera again. I don't know if you caught that. This whole 2-camera thing's killing me. This is adamantine black. Gonna add it back to where I had just put that red on his bit that I didn't like. Cover that back up in black. I want to make sure the entire area that has that is black too. Make it look like his little wires are black. Exposed wires and circuitry, the little bit that you can see on him. Cool. That's why I didn't use too much paint, just a little bit. Still used too much, but not as much as I could have accidentally used. Like I did with that purple when I just squirted a shitload of it out. Oh, I missed. I was trying to throw it in a thing and I missed. Missed. How's this coming? Still drying. I think that might be the right purple though. Maybe. I don't know. Well, that's drying. Try runic purple and see what it looks like on it. We'll do runic purple on the inside wing and see how that comes out. Man, that it's got some bubbles in it, doesn't it? I must not have got it mixed up enough when I shook it. It's watery even for watered down paint. Taking a moment to check my Idle Champions progress as well. That's usually what I use when I go on break. I throw up Idle Champions. In fact, I think after I put this last bit of purple on the wing, we might stop the painting portion of the stream, and I'll there is a game I wanted to play real quick tonight that I just picked up for $5 today, so I'm gonna hop on that. Okay. Yeah, once we spread this purple on the wings, that way we can get like 3 or 4 different shades of purple on here and figure out which one looks best. I'm thinking gem purple is going to be the one that wins. But we got to see how runic dries. All right. We're going to let that dry, and then we will compare. We'll see which purple I like best, because I'm still up in the air. I did paint tests on a sheet of paper to compare the purples I liked, and clear purple was the one I wanted the most. But it definitely didn't come out the way I expected it to. So what we're gonna do is real quick is I'm going to clean this up a bit so that way I can switch over to video games, and then we will round out the last hour of the night with some video games like we normally stream. Thank you for joining me for the painting. I enjoyed doing it, and I'm gonna, this will come up in a couple days on PolyNerdic.com as well. I will get it split out and put it over there and whatnot. Man, I'm glad we got the Death Tyrant done at least. Stand up, paints and inks. Behave yourself. But yeah, I gotta clean this mess up. So, be back in just a little bit. Enjoy some Idle Champions while I'm gone.